Welcome to another Token Games podcast. Zach's unfortunately couldn't be here today, so I am stealing the show. I'm sorry, I am subbing in for him. I am your gracious and lovely host, Nekomimi. Today I am joined by a guy who has a lot of patience because everyone makes the same joke at him over and over and over again. The saint we call Officer.
Hey, how you doing?
And surprisingly, we still do have Zach's spirit with us. You know, he just really had to be here, so he's with us in spirit. Thank you so much, Zach.
He's haunting us.
Dang it, that means they failed. I mean, we're just so happy to have you here and safe.
Yeah, right. I'll be doing recording and throwing in a bonus topic. You may hear me answer one or two, but unfortunately, I'm technically indisposed, so I won't be answering more than 2 questions more than likely. Speaking of questions, what are the topics?
I gotta fire that hitman first. Anyway, topic 1 today, we're gonna be talking about the new live action Avatar series. There's been a lot of stuff going on about that, so we're going to talk about our theories on why the creators abandoned it. Topic 2, we're going to be talking about Resident Evil 4. There is a remake in pre-production, and what should and shouldn't they change about the game. 3, we're going to be talking about what new shows or video games we've been doing during Corona, just anything that keeps our mind off of it and kind of keeps us happy and pretending the world isn't on fire right now. And the last topic for the day will be who can or should play the next live action Wolverine. Cool, I didn't even know there was a new one. Fantastic. So I guess we should start with the first one. That's usually the logical order of things. Officer, what are your thoughts on this?
Let's see here. For topic 1, I get the feeling they might have just run out of money, or maybe were told by whoever it is that owns the Avatar IP, which I want to believe it's Nickelodeon, but I haven't looked into that. Maybe they told them, no, stop that.
You know who owns the rights to live action Avatar?
Oh, is it? Huh.
Are you serious right now?
Was it the movie studio that produced that awful The Last Airbender? Because I'm pretty sure it ain't M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
He's just a director. I don't think he owns it.
Yeah, Netflix might have possibly decided, well, we don't want to pursue this project anymore. Or maybe they just ran into some unexpected snags and decided to either, maybe they're only saying they're abandoning it right now, only to maybe come back later and say, oh, yeah, we were actually still working on this the entire time, lol. But I don't really know. I guess that's why we're speculating, to be honest. And as for whether or not we should be concerned about this, personally, I wouldn't be. I remember the last time Avatar got the live action treatment, and no, I don't want to see a repeat of that.
So are they still continuing to make it? Did they completely stop? Because I thought they were still continuing just without the original creators working on it.
They are.
What?
They are.
Okay, so they are still working on it just without the creators, right?
Terrifying many a fan.
And it's scary.
Did you watch the cartoon?
Talking to me or Officer?
Either.
I've watched, I've seen every episode at least 10 times. That was my entire high school life, was just Avatar was the shit.
I want to say I saw through at least 2 full see-throughs of the entire first series, and I only watched about maybe once through Korra.
So you guys are going to love topic 5, of which I'm keeping as my trump card, as much as I hate that word.
Anything else you want to say about the live action thing, Officer? If not, I'll go ahead.
I guess maybe they just they think it's going to be awful. We'll see. Yeah, feel free to go ahead.
I think everyone is just really scared about having a repeat of what happened with the M. Night Shyamalan movie. I talked about this a tiny bit with my other friend group because I've just been really behind in everything lately. But we were thinking that there was some, I guess, creative differences that like the creators wanted to stick to the book, literally, and keep it true to Avatar. And maybe there was some disagreement with Netflix's team or whatever Netflix does. And I would be scared too. Like the first live action Avatar was a disaster. I bought the movie anyway on DVD because I'm about supporting people.
Oh God!
I love Avatar.
No, you don't. If you bought the movie. Oh, I get it. You thought it was James Cameron Avatar. Okay, you're excused.
Yeah, that one, sure. But like, I wonder, the hype is like they rebuilt the hype, which is actually really rare if you think about it. I mean, Zax, you know a lot of media. Can you think of another show that isn't like comic book related, where it was kind of done a long time ago? This was like what, mid 2000s, and then the hype is renewed in 2020, like 15 years later. It doesn't happen often.
I can't think of anything that didn't already have a comic book, and the only other thing I can think of hasn't come out yet.
Right? So like this is pretty rare for this to happen, and like old fans are super excited. They're getting new fans about it. So if they were to have a repeat of M. Night Shyamalan's disaster, I think that would kind of ruin the Avatar franchise. I guess we'll call it a franchise. I don't know what you call it. So if I were...
It's called, the correct term is anthological franchise, but no one ever says that. Like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is an anthology. Every time there's a sequel, different characters and different setting. But a franchise, an anthological franchise, is just a franchise based in anthologies. But no one ever says that.
I've
literally
never
never
even. I've also never heard that phrase, but I'll have to remember that.
Spelling bee champion over here. Fuck y'all.
That's hilarious. So yeah, if Netflix was trying to take it in a different direction, like I understand what M. Night Shyamalan was trying to do, like trying to make things more authentic with Sokka and what they call him, like Ong or whatever. I don't remember.
All that shit.
Was that all a lie?
Yes, he said he wanted to make it sound more ethnic, but the creator specifically chose names that actually existed. He literally did something that made no sense. It was like trying to reinvent the wheel. And I'm still trying to figure out how this whole love triangle shit was gonna work when half the people in the love triangle ain't even fucking grown. That shit was weird. Zuko was almost 30. He's supposed to fall in love temporarily with fucking, damn it, what was her name? Katara. In the second movie. She 15, Aang is 12. Bruh, what the fuck?
Okay, we'll continue on that rant in just a moment, but I have a new introduction to do. Hey, Lord Yingling, I stole the podcast from Zax. I almost called you Jax. See, I'm already forgetting his name.
Oh yeah, he'll be forgotten soon enough, I reckon.
Fantastic. So we have another joiner here, everyone. The Lord of Goss, the guy with high fashion and knows how to dress himself, Lord Yingling.
Thanks for the introduction.
I like gothic shit too.
It's quite high praise.
So you Lord Yingling, words are hard. We're talking about the live action Avatar remake that Netflix is trying to do, and its creators, the original creators of Avatar, abandoned it, but they're continuing on, which is terrifying. So what are your takes on this? What have you heard? What are you thinking? Like, what are you speculating is the reason they left?
I'm not sure we're supposed to think about Avatar live action. Last time I checked, it's got a pretty bad history. I don't know. It kind of worries me that like a creating group is leaving, like just in general, anything that has that oftentimes, like be it a music production or like film, usually tends to be pretty bad because that transition's really hard to make. You can kind of tell where the stuff that was made before versus after kind of began. And the trend of making live action everything really isn't great so far. I haven't seen any really wow movies yet. You know, I'm not really into it. So I don't have high hopes.
What I'm hoping for this time, and I was watching a video recently about, they compared the scene where Katara was fighting the waterbending master in the North Pole, compared that same scene to the live action Avatar movie scene, and it was obviously like horrible. It was like you're watching two completely different shows. So I'm
I like
hoping
how
now.
she thinks we actually watched it. That's adorable.
Wait, you guys haven't seen the movie?
Hell no!
At least I was hoping it was going to be good. So I saw it in theaters because, like, fingers crossed. And every single, actually, no, that was the time at the end of the movie, the entire theater busted out laughing for how bad it was. Like, we all were in agreement that was like the worst thing we'd ever watched.
To quote the book of Riley, the free man, when I see P coming, I move. When she saw P coming, she stayed.
So for people who didn't see the live action movie and all of its
We
horror,
dodged the P.
What?
Nothing.
I'm ignoring you anyway. Obviously, the movie was super bad. They did a lot of really weird stuff, a lot of really weird choices. But when you look at like the quality of their CGI with the bending and stuff like that, that was also terrible. I was hoping they would at least do some really cool CGI BS with, the power that we have in technology, and they didn't. So what I am being a little hopeful for with this new series is that they will utilize our technology, utilize how far 3D animation has come, and do actual really cool bending fight scenes, unlike the original movie. So like that's where I'm a little bit hopeful. Fingers crossed. Literally, my fingers are crossed right now.
I actually will also admit to having seen that movie, but I did not see it in theaters. I saw it at a friend's place, and we were playing it to make fun of it.
And that's how you watch the Avatar movie.
I was really hopeful. I wanted to be good so bad.
What is it with you and this optimism shit?
Because I just like gothic aesthetic. I'm not actually gothic. It was so
I
funny.
said
It was
optimism.
Yeah, I know. I'm optimistic. That's why it's really fun when people call me a goth, because I'm like, lols, I'm really happy. When I walked into the theater to buy my tickets for Avatar, I was wearing a black shirt that had Yoshi, a picture of Yoshi on it. And I walk up to the front, they go, oh, you're here for Twilight? It's just, no, I'm here to buy tickets for Avatar.
Oh, man, yeah, because you already get all the books anyway.
No, I actually tried to read them. Because my, what?
Twilight is so emo, though.
Oh, it's so emo. The guy I was dating at the time was like begging me to read the books, so I finally did. Was like, fine, I'll read them. I got like 4 pages in.
Those books.
Yeah, no, we broke up for a reason. But yeah, I got like 4 pages in and hated it, so I was like, screw this.
It's now a bad time to mention they're making a new book.
Ew.
Fascinating. The hype
Right.
already died, though. Also, if you guys get the chance, check it out. I think you'll get a laugh.
Are they going to call it Fantastic Beasts and How to Fuck Them?
No.
Possibly. That should be the next sequel.
Ha!
Starring Jacob.
Oh, is this... Wait, it just says a picture. Is this a GIF?
No, it's a picture.
Oh, that's okay.
It
I would
was
say-
probably one of the funniest parts of that movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I would say in order to be goth, there's a few more to it, but you have to be called goth by someone who isn't and by someone who is.
Okay, see, I never was called goth by somebody who is. That's where the line is drawn for me.
England, call her a goth.
I don't know. I'd have to see the style as goth.
Motherfucker.
Check out my
90% of her
Instagram.
clothes are black. Call her a goth.
That doesn't make you a goth. I have some dark
Yes,
blues in
it
there.
actually does. There's not one road to Rome.
I think you're insulting Lord England right now. Like,
No, I'm insulting you for not knowing what you are.
So you also have to listen to the early music at least, and also have the aesthetic. So those are, I would say, the 3 things. I only mentioned the last one. I even said that was just part of it. So I'd have to know what kind of music she listens to as well before I would use the term.
Let me make this easy
J-pop
for
and
you.
classical.
Let me make this easy for you. Whatever music you say, she's gonna lie and say the opposite. Secondly, she's a glam goth, so she doesn't need the musical aesthetic. She just needs the clothing.
Oh, we're getting this so off topic. Okay. Yes. So we didn't really talk about like why we think specifically the creators left. My theory is that Netflix wants to take it away from the original vision, and the creators, of course, are having like flashbacks to the old movie. We're like, okay, no, we're not being a part of this, guys. We're out unless you do what we want to do because we know what's good for Avatar. Go fucking figure. We're the creators. So that's my theory. Anyone else have a theory about specifically why the creators left? Oh, I think Officer said that maybe they like ran out of budget or something.
Or maybe it was like a matter of they saw what Netflix was doing and didn't feel that it was, to their vision. And maybe due to contractual obligations, aren't allowed to speak about it until a certain amount of time has passed.
I could see that. That's believable.
I believe they call it non-disclosure agreements.
Ailing, do you have any theories that you might think is why they left?
Maybe they didn't have enough like creative. They didn't really say anything, but I would guess it has to do with creative license. That Netflix has certain images that they want to take the show in a direction that disagrees with the direction that the production and directing cast really has for the show. That's very often the reason people leave. Part of me is hoping it's good. Part of me is hoping it's very terrible, so I can have a good laugh at it.
So you just want to laugh at Avatar's suffering?
Yeah,
kind of.
I mean, just look at M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's The Last Airbender, and they had to have known what they were doing when they had that panning shot behind her and what her hair looked like.
The fuck are you talking about?
What I
Jesus.
posted in Picto.
Didn't even think about the way your hair looked in the thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared, but I'm not scared.
Really low
But I am
quality, so
scared.
I don't even know what the fuck it is. But yeah, that's how all the fans feel. We're all scared, but we're not. But we are.
Like, I'm super excited for how far our CGI has come, because like we've gotten to this point where probably, I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where we cannot tell the difference between CGI and real life, but we're getting to a point with mythical creatures like Appa and stuff like that, Sky Bison, where the CGI is so good you could believe that that's a real creature, or with our like textures and stuff like that on clothing and stuff, that is getting to a point where it's extremely realistic. So I'd be super excited to see what they can do with the fantastical world of Avatar with CGI. But it's like, is that worth it to kill Avatar again?
Well, maybe if something horrible happens, they'll grace us with a third Avatar series.
Maybe.
Is it topic 2 yet?
Yeah, I'm just finishing typing something. I'm being a bad host. Pardon me.
I mean,
There's
Okay, I'm done.
a secret topic as well going on in the pick dump chat.
I know, we're being too distracting. Stop it. I can't do this. I quit. Can't work
Okay.
under these conditions.
she officially surrenders. She accepts her title as goth. Topic 2.
Second chance.
Fuck you. No.
I don't really have anything to say in this one anyway, so I give up. I'm done.
I
have to
guess
pick who goes
I'll
next.
speak up.
You still have to pick who goes next.
You're making me work still? I said I abandoned this. All right, topic 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake. It is in pre-production right now, but what should and shouldn't they change in the game? We started with Officer before, so Lord Ingling, you're up.
All right, so I'm really excited for this one. Resident Evil 4 is probably one of my, pick a number, top 10, top 20 favorite games of all time. So, being a bit of an old gamer and kind of a purist, though, I don't really want to see a lot changed. I know they're probably going to change Ashley's armor, because you used to be able to just sit there and watch those idiots pick her up and then fall over trying to pick her up, and then you could just shoot them.
Oh yeah, her bonus outfit.
Yeah, and they probably won't allow you to have the Chicago typewriter, which is like a Tommy gun with unlimited ammo. But I really love the replayability of that game and going back and playing that. I actually I own one of the not an original one, of course, they're video game weapons, but I own one of the weapons that's in the game, probably because it's in that game. I went out and bought one. So I really like it, and I don't want to see it change much, but it would be nice to see it kind of in a prettier light, but I think it's beautiful as is.
Awesome. Officer, do you have any thoughts on the Resident Evil 4 remake?
Well, Resident Evil 4 is a fucking amazing game from back in the day, and so long as they at least make it as good as it, the original release was. Actually, no, I would say, in my experience, it seemed that between the GameCube and the PS2 release, the PS2 release it seemed to be the better one in my opinion, but maybe it was just because I was too used to the PlayStation controller. But so long as they make it at least as good as it was when, as good of a game as the first one, as the original one was, it should be fine. Maybe add in a couple, things like, I don't know, maybe playing through the game as another character, as like a extra thing that they add into the game, rather than having specific segments of the game where you switch control from Leon to someone else. But yeah, other than that, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. With looking at Resident Evil 2, and I believe there was also a remake for 3. If it's at least as good as those were in terms of, improvements over the original game, well, it's probably going to be pretty fucking awesome.
So you both seem to really like Resident Evil 4, like that specific game. Let's expand on why you guys like those games. So you said this was released on PlayStation 2, so quite a while ago. What were the things that you really enjoyed about the mechanics, or was it the story, or what made these games stand out to you as so amazing? Lord Ingling?
So I had this game as a sort of a younger person, and I had it on GameCube, I had it on PlayStation, and I later bought it on Xbox. It was very early for me getting into the series. It's not about zombies as much. It's more about there's a virus that sort of turns people into monstrous things, and you kind of investigate the kidnapping of a president's daughter. So it's very unique within the story. You're kind of wandering through a village in Spain or Portugal, killing people, which is pretty interesting compared to the other ones. It's like a zombie invasion of a city, and you're in a mansion where there's answers and stuff, and they're great games, but it's really cool to see the different direction of it. There's a lot of depth, a lot of character development, and there's a lot of replayability. You can buy weapons, and you can keep the treasures from the mansions, and you can bring them back and play the game again, and you get to keep the costumes, weapons, and stuff you have. So you can upgrade all your stuff as you go, and you can, if you want, you can play a game where you just use the pistol from the start of the game, the whole game. And there's people that do that. And so it has a lot of aspects to it that are really expansive for the player experience. And for that, it's just a fantastic game.
That sounds really good. It will, translate really well to our newer systems and give players even more stuff to do. Officer, what are some things that you really liked from the original game that you're kind of like hoping will carry over into the new one, or you think like really made it a special experience?
For me, the controls of the game were honestly really tight. It tight and responsive. So for a lot of the monsters, you had to do some very specific aiming because because for one, obviously, get a headshot, they go down quicker. But for other monsters in the game, you had to shoot specific spots to, for some of them, even do any damage at all. Like I remember one particular enemy was the Regenerator, which had these specific organs in their body that allowed them to, immediately regenerate any damage they took. But if you destroyed the organs by attaching a special scope to your rifle that basically allowed you to like see on their body through, I think it was some sort of like detecting heat or whatever, you could shoot the spots, bam, 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 done. I liked that it was very responsive controls and the like, and I'm hoping that they can definitely keep that. But, well, looking back at the Resident Evil 2 remake, yeah, I think they can do that no problem. So, yeah, that was one thing I liked. The other thing was the change from, just the like whole T-virus stuff to the new thing of this Las Plagas, which is some freakish like parasite as opposed to, at least it seemed to be a lot more like a parasite than a actual like virus kind of thing. And it was all about, it was the parasite would take control of you and warp you into some pretty freakish things. It was a really interesting concept of how they switched up the formula from the first 3 games.
That does sound cool. And it sounds like the players of this game like having that replayability and like specific, I guess mechanics would be the right word. I think they can really capitalize on that with the remake. And like if Lord Inkling likes that you can have all these different weapons and all these customizations and kind of play the game how you want to play it, like Breath of the Wild sort of thing. That's my reference because that's what I know of. But with our stronger technology now, hopefully they can do everything that they did before and like expand upon it, maybe give you more options. Do something like what you said, Officer, where you can maybe switch to another character that maybe you didn't get to play the original game with, and just kind of give them more ways to replay the same game. Because I feel like that is a problem when you're remaking games. You don't necessarily just want to copy and paste the old game into a newer format, because that might feel a little stale for people who have already done it. You can have to think of a way to like spice it up a little bit. I actually had the issue with Okami. I love Okami to death. It's like one of my favorite games. It was originally on PlayStation 2. They re-released it for Wii U, and they re-released it again for the Switch. The same exact game every time. And it's like, okay, yeah, the graphics are prettier, but the graphics were never really an issue because of how stylized it was. It would have been kind of nice if they would have done like some sort of twist or added some more content onto it.
Is it true you can pee on people as an attack?
Do what?
Is it true you could pee on people as an attack?
Yeah, I think it wasn't like that you were actually attacking. It was to get a specific, I think, item out of the enemies. So once I got to a point where I needed to farm those items, I'd pee on all my enemies. It was fantastic.
Wow, R. Kelly must love that game.
Oh, God.
Nice.
The really strange thing is that she's a female wolf and she pees like a boy wolf.
I don't want to know how you know that.
Dude, have you never seen
I
dogs
don't
pee?
want to know how you know that.
The owner. That's how.
You have cats. That's not my point. I don't want to know how you know that.
I lived with dogs all my life.
I just
Strange
like
I
how
turned into a cat.
disobedient she is. She just thinks this shit's funny.
Alrighty then. Moving right along. So guys, something more casual. Anything new you've been doing? New video games, hobbies, shows? Share with the world what's keeping you sane throughout these crazy times.
I can't. We don't discuss porn on here.
Why not?
Why are you just like ruining my fucking jokes? You don't ruin nobody jokes but fucking mine.
Because yours are the most fun to ruin.
Fuck you.
I have to remind him again that he signed up for this. Everyone, just so you know, he signed up for this. I think he's a masochist.
Potentially.
I would say that's probably accurate.
I just
They're
like
on my
how
side.
both of you motherfuckers have literally only seen me in person twice, and you just gonna claim that's accurate. Okay.
So, officer, what new hobbies do you have?
I haven't really picked up much in the way of new hobbies, but as for stuff that's been keeping me sane throughout all of this, well, let's see. With a few friends of mine, we've been watching through the Star Trek Next Generation from season 1 in order. Man, season 1 of Star Trek Next Generation was bad.
When did that first come
really
out?
bad. I want to say it was the mid or late 80s.
Ah,
I think it started in 1987, which was a year before I was born.
it's just so hard to go back and watch really old shows like that because like they did the best they could with their special effects, but I'm spoiled by CGI and stuff.
I mean, they actually did make use of CGI in the Next Generation, and while it was, admittedly early CGI, the way that they used it didn't seem overly what's the word? I guess obtrusive, where you see the CGI and it's like, that is CGI. That looks really awful. What the fuck? This is distracting. It wasn't ever at any point overly distracting. But I guess other than TNG, also been playing a bunch of games on that there Steam. Thank you, Lord Game, for granting to us the Steam. Mainly, I've been playing through Civilization 6, one of those 4X games from the well-renowned Civilization series.
It's one of those games where you create a civilization, you're a god.
You're not a god. You're just controlling, various, like, setting up cities and fending off other civilizations that want to take your cities and shit.
It always looked like fun to me, but I feel like there's a lot of like thinking and planning that is involved with them.
Yeah, definitely a lot. And aside from Civ 6, I've also, after it arrived on Steam, I was playing Star Wars The Old Republic. Since it seems EA finally decided, you know what, let's, just put this on Steam, even though we view Steam as one of our big competitors and don't want to associate with them too much. Yeah, let's just put it on Steam and not force people to have to play it through our own, I believe EA has Origin.
Yeah, I don't like it that much.
Yeah. So basically, you don't need to get Origin. You just need to set up an account on the Star Wars The Old Republic website, and then bam, in you go. You can play through what a lot of people say is pretty much Knights of the Old Republic 3. And this was back before BioWare got kind of iffy in their ability to tell good stories. So it had a rather good story for the, I think, 8 main for the 8 different character classes, each has their own story, and all of them are pretty good.
Cool. It's fun. Steam is so great for so many games. I'm just not much of a hardcore gamer, so I don't usually I have a Steam account, but I have like 3 games on it, I think.
I mean, I got like 12. So, yeah, a PC doesn't determine if you're hardcore or not. You're fine. You don't even need to be.
I used to in my younger days try to be like, yeah, I'm just a gamer, I'm just a girl, and I play video games. Yeah, no, I'm over that. I know I'm super casual and basically an e-girl, so gotta deal with it.
Still have no idea what the fuck that even means.
Nothing good.
Usually not anything good, yeah. But that's what's been keeping me entertained.
E-girls,
E-girls keep everyone entertained, unfortunately. Like now.
Agree to disagree.
Lord Ingling, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm also playing a lot of games lately. I'm actually expanding sort of a collection I have of like old ancient Germanic migration metalwork. I'll send a picture of that to the text page.
Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, I found your soulmate on a dating site, Ingling.
It's Otto von Bismarck with a wig on. Kidding, kidding. He's like an old German statesman dude. Weird history jokes no one gets.
Nope, not in the slightest.
A friend or like that. He's also like a history major or history buff, something like that. So
Yeah, her name's Ellen. She's 37. She's a teacher. She likes to teach. She likes to have conversations. And she's a baker. And she also is addicted to reading and metalsmithing. And she's an atheist.
she sounds like somebody who goes to a Renaissance fair.
She sounds like Lord Yingling's soulmate.
That
I think
too.
this might be a bit personal though for a Discord podcast.
No, it wouldn't. I've never met her. She's not gonna know this shit. I just have her stats.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I collect like really rare old like pieces from like the Goths and the Alemanni, all these tribes that used to live in Northern Europe, kind of like the Vikings, but before the Vikings were the Vikings. If that makes sense.
I hate to cut you off because I want to hear your other hobbies, but where do you find this stuff?
He's a
It's
history
extremely
major.
rare, actually. You can find it at auctions. Sort of like it only comes up every very few years. This one was owned by a collector in Germany for around 20 years, so it's only up now. I've already bought it though; it's mine. So I have some of those kind of things. I have a Viking one as well. I'll send a picture of it.
That's crazy. Dude, that's cool. What even is this thing? The picture you sent.
It's a belt, actually.
It's fancy. I like it. Okay, what is that thing you just sent?
Oh, that's a Midgard Serpent. So it's like a dragon from Norse mythology that sort of like gnaws at the base of Yggdrasil, which is the world tree that sort of binds the universe.
That's the one that's supposed to eat Thor, right?
No, that's the Jormungandr, but yes, they're very similar, and it's very they kind of look very much alike. So yeah, pretty much.
That was Nidhogg, right?
Yeah, Nidhogg.
Have this stuff. I love it.
So I don't know. I started collecting it a while back. I'll send a picture of my like favorite. Well, not really favorites. My first ones I got.
Yeah, and I'll be sure to have pictures of this in the video so people know what she's fangasming over.
It's cool.
Let me try to describe them.
Oh no, I agree.
They're
It's
called
cool.
Gothic. So they're like early works. Actually, they didn't have buttons in the time, so they're kind of shaped like the letter T with like a radiated top, and you would wear them on your cloaks back when the Germanic people invaded Rome. So actually, yesterday was the 1610th anniversary of the sack of Rome in 410. So a bunch of Germanic people took over Rome, blew up or destroyed a bunch of shit, and and freed a bunch of slaves. And then all those slaves joined their army and they went and destroyed Rome again. So
what you're saying is they pulled a Leroy Jenkins. Gotcha.
yeah. So
As you do.
So a lot of these were buried with like warriors. They're pieces of like old, usually belts or anything else that was metal, like the fibulae, which were the pieces worn on cloaks to hold them together. And so they've managed to survive. Very few of them are for sale because now if they're dug up, they immediately go to a museum. So the only ones that are legally for sale have been owned by collections for a number of years, and therefore were before that policy came up where now they immediately go to museums.
So it's even harder now to find them because they go like immediately to museums.
Yeah, the majority of them are actually owned by the British Museum because at a time, a lot of them are found in Italy and Spain. They didn't have any interest in them because they were German. They were like, we have our own stuff, Italian stuff. So we'll just sell these. And Britain was like, oh, we want them. So we'll buy a whole bunch of them. So as opposed to all the other stuff they stole, they kind of questionably bought them and actually own most of them over there. And a lot of them are in Germany as well.
How rich are you that you can just buy this shit?
I actually, when I work, I have two types of money. I have money that I use for expenses and for school and stuff. And then I have like a little bit of money I put into a fund that I buy either books for my research or school or collectibles that sort of relate to what I research. And I use that money to buy these.
Motherfucker, how much were they?
It depends on the piece you're talking about.
Just tell me which one cost the most. Stop
comfortable.
making it technical.
Well, what I mean is like they're usually they're usually worth more than you get them for. They don't come up often. The first one I sent is worth about $1,000. That's what I bought. I got it for actually less than that because I talked to the guy about history who was German and stuff, and he gave me a better price than that. But it's about $1,000. The bottom ones are worth actually more than that because they're gilded gold.
That's a lot.
And now you know why he is king of goth.
I mean, I don't have any cosplays I can do. There's no events. You must wonder where I get money to, work on metalsmithing and where I do, like make costumes.
Oh my
Actually,
gosh.
no, you already told me that.
So you have money for cosplay and this stuff. Like, I understand you have to save up and everything, but damn, I'm jealous. I barely have enough for my cosplays.
I was getting like $20 an hour since I was about 18 where I worked.
Oh,
Which
I'm not
means
making that much.
So I saved money up.
Which means you're like double what Michigan is trying to give as a minimum, and you're $5 past the current minimum in the city of Chicago. Yeah, Michigan need to step their game up. I'm sorry. It's not like a greedy thing. It's a common sense thing. Their base rate of pay is hot ass.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. You literally cannot live off of the minimum wage. Anyway, that's a completely different discussion for another day before I get tilted. I hate minimum wage stuff. So aside from your super awesome German relics, what else have you been doing?
So let's see. Like I said, I'm sort of playing games as well. I'm actually working on some projects where I'm sort of classifying like old coins and sort of historical language stuff. Not really related to anything in this podcast, kind of just weird.
Oh my god, you're something out of like a movie. You're like freaking Milo from Atlantis.
He's also a christener of new goths.
What?
It's just a goth thing. Like if you're goth, you don't generally throw out a label. Like think about it. If you're anything, you don't like give the label to someone unless they like fit certain things, because then otherwise it kind of looks like you're just handing it out. So I'm sure Neko listens to the music, but I need to talk to them first. It's hard to explain.
No, it's not.
No, I don't listen to like I love gothic aesthetic, not like super hardcore. I'm not into like chains and bats and skulls and crosses and stuff, but I love dark aesthetic.
Exactly.
But everything else about me is super not dark.
I don't think you really have to be a certain aesthetic or have to wear bats and chains and shit. You just have to like the music to some degree. It doesn't even have to be your favorite.
Oh, see, I don't even listen to the music.
He just likes, he's trying to push his music agenda. You don't have to, but he really wants other people to his music.
My favorite bands are like the Beatles. They're not goth at all.
No, that's not. Well, I don't really listen to much music at all anyway. Like, I'm not a hardcore music person. I listen to it, but
She's trying to
I'm
hide
not
that she
somebody who
likes
enjoys going to
Korean boy
concerts.
bands.
What?
She's trying to hide that she likes Korean boy bands. I'm just speeding this up.
I do love K-pop and J-pop, but like I can only name like 2 bands.
There actually is some VK, like Japanese music, that would
Oh, Visual
qualify.
K.
Yeah, would qualify in my opinion as goth.
Oh, what was the name? Dirt and Gray, probably. They were pretty gothic, if I remember correctly.
Other ones too. That one sounds right. There's a few. Mandel or something. Mantle or something. That one.
Oh
would
yeah, I heard of
qualify.
them. Yeah, like I can only think of 1 or 2 Visual K groups and a handful of other things. Like I have like songs I like and I listen to a lot of Vocaloid music, but I'm not somebody who's like a music connoisseur. My husband listens to like every genre. I don't think there's a single genre he doesn't like.
Yeah, I'm kind
And-
of like that, bit, except not every genre.
Hold. There we go. Okay, found it. Wait, I didn't talk about my hobbies. I really haven't been doing anything different. I've just been
we
playing
know
video
what your hobbies are. I'm going to sit down like a potato and watch people play League of Legends, or I'm going to sit down like a potato and I'm going to play with my cats because I like pretending I'm crazy cat lady, but it's actually secretly life goals. Let's see, what am I missing?
Hey, no. I don't
black
watch
clothing.
people play League. I play it. I sit down like a potato and I play it.
I said you do both. Now, let's see, what am I missing? Fangasming over possible clothing and fashion Lolita shit that you like. Let's see what else. Makeup. I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah. Porn. Gay porn.
You didn't forget Monster Hunter. I've been playing more of that.
Wait, you play Monster
You were
Hunter?
supposed to tell me when you got back into that shit. Let's see what
Was
am I
I?
forgetting. Oh yes. Oh yeah. And I'm pretending that your husband is in control of everything. Yeah, that's you.
You think that last one's a hobby? Psh, no.
No, I don't think it's a hobby. I think it's a life goal.
It's kind of sad how accurately that all summed me up.
Yeah,
All right then.
it's really sad because it's not like you've literally given me accurate descriptions of yourself numerous times.
Want people to know what they're getting into. Anyway, so the next question or topic is about that new live action Wolverine movie, which I unfortunately have nothing to say on this one. But Lord Ingling, do you have anything to say about the new live action Wolverine movie? What actors do you think should play them or can play them at all? I don't know.
I just don't know. I think Hugh Jackman really did an iconic kind of reinventing the character. A great job. And it's kind of hard for me to like mention and be like, oh, this guy should do it, you know, because it's like I don't want to let that down in a way.
Well, what about people who are similar to Hugh Jackman? Because like, isn't he getting kind of old by now?
Yeah, that's why he's done with it. He's actually, now it's time for a lesson with British Google. I get to talk to British Google. I love this part. Hold on.
He really loves that part.
Hey Google, how old is Hugh Jackman?
51 years old.
God damn. Yeah, he too old to play Wolverine. Y'all caught that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was older than that.
Wow, fuck you.
So like, is there anyone you can think of that like is similar to Hugh Jackman? Like officers, anyone you can think of?
I remember seeing this topic when Zach's brought it up. I believe it was last week, and it's been popping into my head over the past week or so occasionally. And it's like I honestly am having a hard time thinking of anyone who can replace Hugh Jackman. It's just, he was too iconic. The only possible, small possibilities that popped in my head were maybe a professional wrestler, not Dwayne Johnson or John Cena, though, because
I just like how John Cena got the perfect height, but he ain't got the fucking grizzliness.
Well, both of those two are so iconic in other ways.
Another possibility that came to mind was if they can get him to jump ship from DC, Jason Momoa.
Ugh.
But other than that, I honestly don't know.
And how about a different twist on this? So Hugh Jackman is so well known for kind of reinventing Wolverine and taking Wolverine to his own direction. Is there any idea or any way you could see Wolverine changing so that maybe a different actor could portray him really well, but in a slightly different way? Because, like, think about when they made Will Smith Genie and stuff like that. I think Will Smith is a great actor who could play a character like Genie, but nobody is going to match Robin Williams' Genie. So, is there anyone who could take Wolverine into a different direction, but do it just as well as Hugh Jackman did?
Tumbleweed rolls by.
That was the first example I could think of was Genie. Sorry, everyone. I know everyone hated that.
No, I'm fine with it. I mean, an analogy is an analogy. I just don't think I can think of anyone who could reinvent it.
Neither could I, really.
That's my problem with it as well. Like, I don't know anyone who can really pick up the torch for it. So I wouldn't want to, like, suggest it onto someone without that.
That's pretty interesting that Hugh Jackman did such a good job reinventing Wolverine and then owning it that no one can really fill in his shoes.
He's kind of synonymous with Wolverine. I imagine the same problem emerged with some of the James Bonds, where they just like became so iconic with the character that it's very hard to think of who should play him next. Same problem with Daniel Craig, right? Like, who should be James Bond?
Yeah, Daniel Craig was a weird situation because no one wanted him to be Bond, but then once they saw him, everybody shut the fuck up. And I'm not gonna lie, I was the same way. It's not because he's not Pierce Brosnan anymore. It's because I'm not trying to be one of those shock jock assholes, but the main problem is that a lot of people didn't like the idea, which I thought was dumb. Me of all people, who agrees normally, the first issue they had was that he was blonde. Like, I feel like there are a lot more important things to have an issue with of a new Bond than the fact that they're fucking blonde. If you look up James Blonde, you'll see that it showed up right when he did. My biggest issue was the fact that he was a tiny man. And on top of that, his acting history did not lend well to someone who could be a Bond. And his personality is not lent to someone who should play a Bond. He hates doing stunts. They had to almost triple or double his pay for the last movie he was in because he didn't want to do it because he hates doing stunts.
Oh, geez. It seems like if you're going to play James Bond, you have to like doing stunts.
Regarding another British property of various people playing a specific role, Doctor Who. Every time there's a new Doctor, people are like very divisive about it. Even though it's been an established thing in the series since at least third Doctor or fourth Doctor, that every time he gets a new regeneration, he comes back looking completely different.
Bond is definitely different than that, though, I think, because Bond is a Scotsman, and a lot of different British people have actually played him, including an Australian, and so having Bond as not a Brit is difficult because Scotland is like what 90% Scottish or something ridiculous. It's a tricky area, you know. There's a great comedian who's like South African who had a whole thing about it, but it's off topic, so. But it's very funny.
Make a joke. What are you talking about? All the people in Scotland are British.
Trevor Noah.
That's the joke that only Scotsmen would get.
Okay.
Scottish.
Trevor Noah. Hilarious stand-up. Look it up. It's worth watching.
Yeah, that's what I said, Trevor Noah. Okay. Well, I guess it's time for secret topic. And this is going to definitely be interesting, especially since I feel like everybody's going to talk at once. Topic 5. can Death Battle be trusted or should it be respected? Not because of one particular episode, but just based on the fact that their ratio of accuracy in information and research is very, very unstable. And that's not anecdotal evidence. Statistically speaking, a vast majority of their videos get debunked, and not just based on personal information I have or I know. So one way they tried to mitigate this was make a premium alternate version of the winner based off of some unforeseen things, instead of having one winner and one video, which I think is kind of fucking stupid, but that's another matter entirely. So
Wait,
yeah,
I have to show how good I am. What's Death Battle?
Death Battle is a show where famous people from movies, comic books, and video games have a one-on-one fight to see who is better than the other. However, the only true rule is that literally they have to be similar in scale or similar in power.
Okay. So is it all the Avatar characters versus My Hero characters, or is it just
No, those two. It's
just
Zuko versus his son.
Fuck it. All right. Hey, officer, what do you think about Zuko versus Todoroki?
You seriously didn't
Zuko
know
from
that he was based off of Zuko?
He was, but he's cold. Screw it, I don't care.
Regarding the question of should we trust Death Battle, I gave up on them a long ass fucking time ago. No. Just no. Don't bother. It's a waste of time. Yes, there's sometimes when they get it definitely right. But other times when they get it really wrong.
I'm gonna have to check out more of their stuff. I've never seen this. So I don't know what Death Battle said who should win out of Zuko and Todoroki, but who do you think?
For the record, none of us do. I haven't seen the episode yet. I'm waiting till this is over to watch it. But I already know I feel like they're going to fuck me over somehow.
Oh.
Yeah, they probably will. Yeah, don't trust Death Battle. They sometimes, yes, they get it right. But they get it wrong pretty often as well. It's way too hit or miss for me to ever actually take them seriously. It's something you watch for maybe an entertainment or, lol, what do these people think will actually be the winner in this? Rather than, what would actually happen if the two characters came together, which, if you want that answer, talk to the respective creators. Have them decide.
Do these Death Battle people try to go based off facts and other things throughout the series? Or do they just kind of go all about who's stronger and pick the winner?
No, they go by facts.
But sometimes their facts are wrong.
Got it.
They leave stuff out. I'm not super familiar with them particularly, but I think a lot of the Death Battle-y kind of things are, taken with a grain of salt. It's someone's interpretation based on what they see and think, and people are human, they get shit wrong. I wouldn't take it as the gospel on who would win this fight,
That's what I was thinking. It kind of goes back to that old argument of what was it, Superman? Well, I guess Superman versus Batman, you can't argue anymore because I actually did that. But anyway, I know,
Lions versus Tiger. That's the really old one.
Yeah, just it all depends on kind of your perspective and what you're looking at, and the fact that these two characters are never going to actually fight, we'll never actually know. So it's really all just opinion based.
That fucking took the wind out of my sails. I guess I'll actually answer this one since I haven't answered shit really. All right, point blank. I'm gonna just start this off by saying I am not trying to, for lack of a better term, get people to hate Death Battle. But I am trying to, ironically, and yes, I realize the irony of this, I'm trying to get people to look at it from a realistic perspective. this show has transcended into something of the definition of a subculture war. It doesn't matter what you're into, what you like, what you think. Death Battle will always do some research. They will not do all the research. They will not look into everything possible. And if they try to apply, which they often do, real world physics and math to fantasy characters, you're going to have a lot of mistakes, or you're going to have a lot of missing numbers that you can't necessarily fix with an algebraic equation or some shit. Especially since one of their primary researchers, I believe they died the first or second year they started doing Death Battle, which has been around for like 6 or 7 years now. And they practically never recovered. They do not have a lot of people doing the research. They do not have a lot of people putting in the hours. Most of the energy and expenditure goes into the actual creation of the fight animations. When they did Dante versus Bayonetta, they used motion capture and shit. I don't even know if they did 2D sprites or 3D animation for this fight. But let me say this. Their biggest problem is that, from what it looks like, they assume once they have an answer to how someone could win, they just run with it. And they don't check or verify their own information. They do everything in-house. And if they do any consultation, it's indirect consultation. Like they'll look up an old interview, or they'll look up creator statements. They won't look up actual research or people who may already know the answers. Biggest example. Yang from Ruby has no business winning against Tifa Lockhart. So disgusting.
Agreed.
Not to mention, here's my favorite part. For some reason, the voice actor of Yang was there, and I figured it out the minute I saw it. They got bought and merged with Rooster Teeth. Yang won that fight, and you can quote me on this, because Rooster Teeth merged with the company. That's it. It takes very, 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 very little effort to understand why Tifa should have won. Not because my personal feeling, because I can see based on what they said, they didn't do their own fucking research. And they don't even follow their own rules. No outside items or outside help. Okay, well, why is it that when you made Link fight Cloud Strife, Cloud is using the Buster Sword and only the Buster Sword and maybe fire materia, but Link has his entire kit from Zelda 64 and even switches his shoes halfway through.
Doesn't make much sense.
Exactly. So in this one, Tifa can only use 3 materia. Fire, lightning, and I think a healing materia. She beat Yang senseless, and she should have died. But because Yang has the ability to absorb and redirect damage she's taken, she wins? No. Tifa, like every other character in the game, there's 2 to 3 weapons in Final Fantasy VII that have unnatural damage multipliers that can be applied to their weapon. Cloud's Ultima Buster gets stronger based on his HP. So if you have at least 5,000 HP on Cloud, he will do 999 damage. Tifa is damage absorption just like Yang. So if she had on God Hand, which some people don't even consider her ultimate weapon, but it's the last one the game gives you, she should be hitting harder just because Yang hit her once. Yang's ability doesn't stop her from feeling damage.
Actually, I think the last ultimate weapon you get in Final Fantasy VII is K6.
I'm talking about Tifa specifically, dude. Keep up. The reason people argue about it is because Premium Heart has an ability similar to Cloud's. Enhances attack power based on HP. But they only let Tifa use 2 weapons, her bare fist and something that looked like God Hand, or God Hand's supposed to look, but it didn't have the same effects as God Hand. So the fight made no sense. Furthermore, Yang is wearing a weapon that shoots bullets out of it in shotgun or singular target. And Tifa can't use any materia but fire. Tifa could literally just use the haste materia. Tifa could just use the slow materia, or a personal favorite. Their excuse was, well, the characters can't use all the materia at once. Like, yeah, they can. It's called the master materia. If you get the master materia and you level up every single individual materia, you get an all materia for every single type of materia that can utilize every single thing, and it can go in one fucking slot.
Master Command was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So they didn't do their homework, just for an example. I think Death Battle's biggest problem is that they thought that since they could make money off of having one winner and making people pay to see their other favorite person win as a premium, they invited, for lack of a better term, an internet civil war. And it's basically, no, they're right in this episode, no, they're wrong. There's a whole subculture of people who debunk Death Battle.
I mean, things like this kind of invite
exactly. They do it to themselves, but the problem is that they don't want to back in. They don't want to say anything other than what they said one time when they were live. Well, the main guy we had died, and that was it. So we try to do the best we can. Like, okay, I'm sad he's going. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to shit talk to dude, but bitch, don't act like you shouldn't get more people and get more invested and do more. He was one person. Well, now there's still 8 or 12 of you who are main employees on Death Battle. So why the fuck are you spending more time and money on animating characters for the narrators when you can spend that time and money on research and verifying your research? There's a difference between a hypothesis and a fact. A hypothesis is what you feel might have happened. A fact did happen.
Yep, pretty much. Either that, or they could, maybe hire on someone new.
Yeah, an actual research firm or something.
Yeah,
just
and do
anything.
research. But oh well.
But they're not going to
head out. I will talk to you peeps later.
All right, nice having you back.
Officer.
Yep. Farewell.
They're not going to hire anyone else because what they're doing still works. People don't care about the actual research that goes into it. They just want to see their favorite character kill another character. Like, I won't spoil this video for you.
I ain't seen it.
But they didn't do their research, hands down.
There's a lot of episodes in there you might like. If you actually sit down and watch every episode, that's like 3 hours. You'll have a field day, and so will your friends. But
I don't know.
They have other episodes like Goku versus Superman, which they should have never done.
Well, I like things really based around facts and research. If you're going to give me an answer for something, tell me why. Make it believable, not
they try to do that at the end of every episode, and that's what bothers me. They try to tell you how they got to their conclusion at the end of the episode, but that's when everybody's yelling and screaming, "This is bullshit!" Usually.
Yeah. So I don't know. These sort of things, Death Battle is something that should just be taken as pure entertainment. Don't try to read too much into it. Just be like, oh well, that character lost. Cool, we're done with this. I know subcultures are going to form around things like this because it's a lot of opinions, but everyone just needs to calm their tits. It's just entertainment.
Damn, I wish I could still say that. That used to be my catchphrase for 10 years. But the way I think it should be viewed is I think Death Battle needs to just stop doing research. They just need to make this guy won and then make an alternate battle completely different where the other guy wins. Because there are channels that do that for no reason. There's 3 or 4 different Hulk versus Superman videos, and there's even a One Punch Man versus Hulk video and a One Punch Man versus Thanos video.
Yeah, that would still get all their viewers because people just want to watch their favorite characters fight. That would be perfect. And they wouldn't have to hide behind this facade of, yeah, we're doing research. Just don't look at us while we do it.
Teehee. So ultimately, I think that Death Battle shouldn't be canceled. No pun intended. If you can call it a show. I'm not sure how that shit works, that terminology in this case. But I think that Death Battle needs to change. They need to morph into just a what if they got into a fight instead of a what if, there had to be an exact winner and why they would win. They did a Mario versus Sonic video and it was so short, but it made sense. Mario ain't gonna fucking catch Sonic. Oh, well, he's invincible when he got on the yellow cape. And the yellow cape lasts how long? And then they go and redo the video. And I'll shit you not, this is what they said the second time they did the video 4 or 5 years later when Mario won. Sonic easily had him beat with power, speed, blah, 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 blah. But Mario is a tough fighter and he survived many obstacles. The fuck?
Not even an answer.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like they got paid to say that. Like
I feel like Mickey Mouse would beat Sonic, and I like Sonic. I'll tell you why. Disney bought Star Wars, so they have the Millennium Falcon, so they can just switch that bitch into hyperdrive with Mickey on it. He'll pass Sonic right away.
Here's the funny part to
Exactly.
me. Here's the really funny part to me. They pulled a Nintendo, and this is back when that meant one thing, not like it does now. Mario's abilities don't follow any logic, and they didn't until 2007 or 8 when Mario Galaxy came out, right? But right before that, and every year before that, Mario gained abilities that didn't follow any logic as to how he was doing them. There's a stage in Mario Sunshine where Mario has to go through a whole stage that's inside of a bottle, right? So Mario just knows how to literally turn himself into particle liquid shit to go inside the bottle and be microscopic in the bottle. No explanation, no magic. He just knows how to do it.
just Mario things.
Exactly. So yeah. With that being said, Ingling, you got any closing statement? He who is of the dark.
Nothing comes to mind. Just have a good day and keep awesome, and don't get in any death battles you might lose for unforeseen bullshit that doesn't include any of your items.
Okay. She who walks the road of the dark. You got anything you want to add?
No, but thank you for this opportunity, Zach. I feel it really helped me grow as a person and mature. And if you ever need anyone to steal your show again, just let me know.
Yeah, fuck you. I know you're already plotting on how to fuck with me and when there's a next time.
You need to get a new hitman.
In stores 2021. That being said, get ready to get your next PlayStation, your next Nintendo, and your next Xbone. And we'll probably devote the next episode to shit talking them. I will see you guys when I see you guys.
Bye.